Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm going to flip in a social media statement from a female friend of mine. Obviously, I'm going to leave her name off of it, who happens to lift, happens to be involved in lifting, happens to be involved in fitness, eats bro, total clean eater. This is her opinion on a lot of the people who are fitness obsessed, fitness enthusiasts, who always can't seem to understand why they can't get dates, they can't get in a relationship, they get a first or second date with someone, they never hear from them again. We see a lot of this. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about this. And, you know, she had some really valid points, and this is something I see a lot out here in this community and in this industry. I see a lot of people involved in the fitness world who struggle to get involved in relationships. In fact, a lot of them struggle to even get laid. A lot of these guys out here do, yet, you know, they spend all their time training, getting aesthetic, doing all these things that they think should help them get girls. Now, they're not necessarily doing it to get girls, and I want to differentiate between those two groups of people. The guys who are training to get girls are completely delusional. They think that that's really a solid time investment for getting laid. It really isn't your best time investment. There's better things you could do with your time besides obsess over training. Being in good shape isn't going to hurt you, but you're going to need a lot more than that. It's a misallocation of resources beyond dedicating more than a couple hours a week to it. It just really is. That's the reality of it. We're not talking about those people. We're talking about the people who they are literally obsessed with training. It is their whole life, and then they wonder why they can't meet anyone. And a lot of it should be really obvious when you think about it. A lot of you guys need to think about this. If you find yourself in this situation, step back and really ask yourself what the problem is. You know, because honestly, fitness and training, unless you're making a real living doing it, isn't really the lifestyle that you think it is. It's not something that should eat up all of your time. It's not something that should eat up all of your social media, everything else. Again, unless you're making a living doing it somehow. And you know what? There's plenty of people who make their living in the fitness world who don't obsess over it as much as a lot of people I know who aren't making any money doing it. Something people need to keep in mind there. There are people making good money in the fitness world who actually don't obsess over it. Actually have reasonably balanced lives because they see it as a job. Now, if you're one of these people, think about it. If your entire social media is covered with nothing but memes about how you don't skip days at the gym, how you get upset if you miss a day at the gym, you post all your macros, counting your macros, you're obsessed with the gym, the gym, the gym. That's your whole life. That's all that's ever on your social media. That's all you talk about. That's all you care about. And you need to understand, most people don't see it that way. Most people who work out, most people who are in shape and have a gym membership don't have this obsession with it. They don't have an obsession with it. And that's all you post about. That's all you know about. You don't know anything about current topics, politics, philosophy, social issues. Everyone you hang out with or know is a gym bro. And you literally bring nothing else to the table. And then, you know, guys do that and then they wonder why they can't get a second date. Well, you need to consider that you're a boring person. You're not interesting. If that is your entire life and your obsession, you're not interesting enough to really spend much time with, you know, because honestly, the muscle in your physique could be icing on the cake for those who have a serious sexual attraction to that. I'm not going to lie. It can be for certain people, but it's going to put off a lot also. So you're going to lose some in that mix and you're going to gain some. But you know what? Why is some person going to hang out with you, whether you're a girl or a guy or gay or straight or whatever it is that you're doing? Why is a person going to hang out with you if they're worthwhile in any way? Why are they going to hang out with you if they could go find someone who's also in shape, who actually has something meaningful to say, who has some other interest, some other life? You know, it's kind of like the guy who says, well, I don't know why I can't meet girls. I'm a nice guy. Well, I don't know why I don't meet girls and get girls. I'm a buff guy. You know, well, the nice guy, that's well and good that he's a nice guy, but what happens if she meets a nice guy who can also play the guitar? Well, he's just shit out of luck if all he has if he's a nice guy. The other guy can play the guitar too. How about a nice guy who's really funny? Well, he's got a sense of humor. How about a nice guy with a good job? See what I mean? You see where I'm going here? If you're one-sided, one-dimensional, and all you bring to the table is that you really, really like to work out, that's going to get really boring unless you meet another person who's obsessed with that also. And you know what? Let's be honest. The guy to girl ratio there isn't very good. Most girls I know who train really hard and seriously are outnumbered by the guys 10 to 1. And on top of that, a lot of them have lives outside of that. You know what's worse? If you hook up with someone and you're both obsessed with the gym and you have a totally different belief as far as training philosophies or diet philosophies, guess what? That's going to cause a conflict anyway. So the only thing that you two have in common is something that you're going to end up arguing about on top of it. All right? So really, when you think about it, if all you bring to the table is that you are obsessed with the gym and obsessed with training and nothing but gym memes and bodybuilding memes is always on your social media, you're totally one-dimensional. And unless that person is looking for a personal trainer or they're looking for a macro coach, you don't have much to offer them. And if you want to even have serious, not just romantic relationships or sexual relationships or whatever else it is that you're looking for, you really need to bring more to the table. And even friendships. Because honestly, if all the dudes, the people you know, they're not obsessed with the same thing, they're going to get bored of your macros and your training. And again, if that's your obsession, it's not going to work out for you. And I know guys who are like that. I've met guys who are like that since I've been in this game. It's their whole life. It's their whole world. You know, and I don't mean to shoot myself in the foot because obviously, I mean, I make YouTube fitness videos. But guys, there's more to life than the gym. You got to bring some balance. You know what I would suggest to you guys if you're really struggling with that and meeting people? Maybe it's time for you to assess if that lifestyle is really worth it to you. Because you know what? For a lot of you, it's not going to be. You're not going to be obsessed with that lifestyle forever. When you look at the age groups of guys involved, with each couple years they get older, it's a smaller and smaller number of guys. So you're sitting here throwing your entire life into an obsession that's actually hurting you socially. When the truth is, in a few years, you might not even care about it anymore. Then you're going to have to find something else to do. And honestly, the only career choice most of the guys who get obsessed with this have is really being a personal trainer or a coach. And you know what? And that gets scary too, because I see guys who throw their whole life into this stuff. They go become a personal trainer and they really still don't even know what they're talking about. They really don't even know sometimes that weight loss is calories in, calories out. I've seen it. I've seen guys who throw their whole life into this, and I still see them kind of post around online and things, and they honestly believe that things like eating 6 or 7 meals a day boost your metabolism and all sorts of nonsense. So it's like the only thing they're obsessed with, they still don't even have close to right. And it can be downright scary to watch this. So on top of the fact that it's their obsession, if they do get with anyone, they don't even know what they're talking about. But, you know, that's kind of a side point. The thing is, look, if you're one of these guys and you're wondering why you're single, why you're not interesting, why women think you're boring even though you're really good shape and you know that they want to get into shape and you want to help them, you need to be multifaceted. You need to learn other things. You need to have multiple interests and be well-rounded. You need to be able to hold an actual conversation about something other than your one obsession. And it's okay to have things that we love. I mean, I have things that I love. I have things that I absolutely adore and don't mind spending most of my time doing and thoroughly enjoy. But you've got to have more to who you are than that. Because if you don't, then you aren't a worthwhile person. And if you're not a worthwhile person to be around, what makes you think that you're going to attract other worthwhile people to be into your life? And it doesn't matter whether your intentions are romantic or friendship or anything else. Get out and try some new things. Learn some new things. Mix your circles sometime. Realize that there is more to life than your one little world. You know, sometimes a lot of us, we live because of our passions in little small circles. And the problem with that is that when you live in a little small circle and that becomes your whole life, it becomes difficult to meet people outside of that little circle that you're in. And eventually, unfortunately, you're going to find one day, even though it meant so much to you at one time, you might be surprised in 4 or 5 years that working out is going to become a hobby for you, very possibly. It's going to be something you just do a couple times a week to stay in shape. In fact, more likely than not, the guys who get totally obsessed are the ones who drop out completely. The people who just see fitness as something that's a little bit a part of their day every day, that's the ones who stick it out for life. Those are the people who gain the real benefits from it most of the time. And they end up becoming well-rounded people where fitness is just one aspect of their life. And those people tend to be more interesting because they can bring more to the table. They have different flavor. Yeah, they know about fitness. Hey, they can give you fitness advice on getting into shape if you ask. But they have 6 other topics that they can talk with you about also. In detail, just as much detail as a lot of you guys talk about the fitness thing. So just think about it. Alright guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.